beautiful being of love, light, and wisdom, and welcome to today's Q&A. Hopefully you're having an amazing now moment and you can grab your mug of coffee or water to enjoy this with me. So happy to be able to do this. So happy to be here with you today, and feel so blessed to deliver these codes, deliver these downloads, deliver these energies for the highest good of everybody involved, for the highest good of all the beings that are watching, the beings that are going to watch, and setting the intention that my highest self speak through me to answer these questions and bring more love, more light, and more wisdom into your life. And with that intention, we're going to start. We have like 13 questions today. This is the first one. Hi Nikki, thank you so much for all the postings. Touch my energies and raise my vibrations. I'm so happy you did. Question. How do you keep being in the mindful connected flow? Any advice? How do you do it? Did a bufo ayahuasca session last year and can really explain all that happened after that. Pure magic. But gradually falling out of connections with spirits. Wish you the best of days. All love. Thank you so much. How do I stay flow and connected? Thank you so much for your question. I don't think about it. I just am. I just let go of expectations, let go of outcomes. I do have desires, and like the desire to teach you, or I don't know, maybe nomad desires. Whenever quarantine is over, I do want to do a lot of travels. Here in Panama, we've been in quarantine for 4 months. I'm like, I can't wait to get out of the house. What does it have to do with flow? For example, those are two desires I have. But even with those two desires, I don't attach myself to any outcomes, and I just hold the vision of what I want to see, and I just keep being in my highest self. I always follow what spirit tells me. Spirit is just the version of myself that's beyond the veil of all creation, that is beyond enlightenment and see confirmation. And I just give it over. I just surrender to it. All my desires, all my intentions, everything. I say, Spirit, I release any control and I let you guide me, and synchronicities start to happen. I don't work anymore. It's just like a flow, as you say. It's just play. And when you trust completely the field, 100% knowingness that anything you wish, you're worthy of. Because if you have a desire, then it means you're worthy of it, and that it's going to come to you. And with that 100% knowingness, then you start living in the field of accelerated manifestation, and everything you wish just pops into your matrix almost instantly. And the more you do this, the more confident you get, the higher your desires, the more trust you have in spirit and in yourself. And then suddenly it's just a flow, and you know that you are the field of consciousness. You know that you're everything you wish to have. It's already here for you. It already happened, and you're just remembering for you to have an experience of dreaming, of allowing that into your reality, matching your vibration to the thing that you desire. That's an example for manifestation flow. For spiritual flow, in the sense of enlightenment, in the sense of allowing, of releasing thoughts, of being the observer, being the witness, it's just a practice of meditation. Right now it's more of a state of contemplation. I don't usually meditate. Well, I create meditations for you, but myself, I do them, like practice them to see how they were and if I like them before posting it, right? I test my own product. But it took some time of practice of releasing and realizing that I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my body, I'm not even my desires. Like, even when beings ask me, like, what are you, a spiritual teacher? I'm like, no, I am love. I am a mirror of you, a mirror of love and light and consciousness. And the more you release identification with any personality, with any fixated state of being, and you just like are, and you realize that every thought you have is just nothingness, doesn't mean anything, then you're able to be even more clear, even more confident, even more logical, in the sense of you trust inspirations more. Because when you empty yourself from your perceptions, from your judgments, from your illusions, from your distortions, from desired outcomes, then you just let spirit shine through you. and it's like a cosmic dance between spirit and lower self, because while you're on earth, I do believe, in my experience, you still have the lower self, but it's like spirit takes over your vessel and you just trust spirit. And whenever you see the lower self freaking out, as an example, if you get triggered, or you just see it as a lower self and you don't identify with it. It's like you live in this continuous simultaneously of you know what I mean. It's simultaneous way of coexisting with spirit, highest self, and your lower self and the physical vessel, and knowing that you're not any of that. It's like if you know that your consciousness is like here on top of your head, like in my last Joe Dispenza meditation, it says that think about consciousness being in the crown, and then you start realizing that you're not the body that's performing the task. You're the consciousness that's observing the body performing the task. And the more you detach from that, the less dense things are. You don't take yourself so seriously. You start playing around. You know that you're just in a game. And when you realize that your life is a video game and that you are the director, the creator, the main character, you can place more beings around, and you can choose to change scenarios, and you can choose different the desires for your expansion and your ascension and your learning and your growth. It's like a huge portal of possibilities open. And as you lose identification with the physical self, with the mind, with the observer, and you stick yourself more in the God consciousness, and with this explanation, I'm trying to make this experiential for you, then it's just a constant state of flow. You live in bliss because you know you are bliss. And when you remove those distortions, when you remove those limiting beliefs, when you get triggered and you see that triggered as an opportunity for growth and expansion, and you don't identify with the triggered, but you think about it as, interesting, this is what my physical vessel is feeling. I feel this contraction, that means this is not truth, because truth feels good. Truth brings you in alignment with higher self. And when you know this as 100% knowingness, then it's just like you exist in this simultaneous field of consciousness of everything and nothingness. How can you not be in flow, trusting, knowing, and feeling bliss? Because even when you don't feel bliss and you feel a contraction or a trigger, you know it's not you. So you see it and you're like, interesting. What can I learn from this? How can I master myself even more? What is the lesson here? And when you learn the lessons quickly, the characters in your life movies start disappearing. You place new characters, you place new scenarios, because you start living in accelerated living, accelerated ascension. And that way you can learn more lessons in this lifetime, and maybe you can just get enlightened there and then just don't come back. Because if you don't learn, that's the only thing you take when you leave, the lessons that your soul learned. You came here to learn lessons. And if you learn all the lessons you need to learn, you don't need to come back. If you don't, then you repeat the cycle and you come back, and the cycle of karma repeats. So it's just resting more in the knowingness that this is all a game of consciousness. You came here to learn some lessons, to transcend them, and then to experience, have fun in the process, right? Enjoy the candies of life and the pleasures, but knowing that it's just part of you getting to know yourself even more through other selves, because at the end there's nobody else outside of you. It's just you. Imagine that your consciousness is just divided into millions of beings, because all of them is just one particle of God consciousness, and you got bored of being God consciousness and just feeling so blissed out and so much unconditional love that you were like, you know what, I'm gonna separate myself in millions of beings, and I'm going to have an experience to get to know myself through experiences, through catalysts, through relationships, through jobs, through careers, through doubting yourself, through conquering your fears, through self-growth, and then realizing that there's no such thing. It's just self-allowance, because there's nothing to grow. You already are everything. You just need to allow yourself to remember you're everything, and remove the distortions and the blocks and the limiting beliefs and all the things that doesn't serve your highest purpose and your dharma. It's like, okay, this is not me, this is not me, this is not me. Practice it right now. Just close your eyes and see all the thoughts that pass by, and be like, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. And if you come with some conclusion or some sort of assumption towards something, say, and then what? And then what? And then what? An example would be, and this is a meditation practice that may help you realize the God consciousness that you are and release all fears. An example is, you want to start a new business and you think you don't have the resources to start it. So you will say, I want to start a new business, but I don't have the resources to start it. And then what? Well, I could find and take a loan to invest, okay? that sounds great, and then you feel empowered, and then you're like, the doubt creeps in. It's a trigger. I'm just using this example of opening up a business, but you can use it for relationships or anything. And then you get a trigger like, what if it doesn't work? And then what? And what if I lose all the money? And then what? And what if I don't know, like I fail? And then what? I'm using this process, and then what, and then what, and then what? Then you can see all your distortions, and at the end it's like, and then what? Then I'll die. And you're like, and then what? That would be amazing. If you had that experience of how blissfully it does feels to not be here. Like, it's just perfection. So while you're here, like if you remove that fear of death, because it's actually delicious, and you realize that you're here out of choice to have an experience and to grow, and there's no way you can have it wrong, because your God consciousness and everything you wish to have or experience, you just place it into your reality because you're God, right? So using this process of I am not this, I am not that, and then when you see your distortions, you ask, and then what? And then what? And then what? Then all fears are gone, all distortions are gone, all illusions are gone. And you see, like, the process of the and then what ends up almost always in, okay, and then I'll die, or then I'll not get what I want, and then what, right? There's nothing worse than not trying, because when you know your God consciousness, you know you will have it. Trying is just the dreaming of the process of something you already achieved. Place your desires onto the past and realize they're already here. Beautiful. And if this is what came through with this question, then this is what was meant to be heard. Okay, let's see. Tantra is not about sex. Well, it's about sex, but sex can have many meanings, many connotations. It can be sensual, getting to know each other, sexual communication, sexual understanding. It doesn't have to be lust. It can be rooted in unconditional love. But let's look at your question. How's your reply? Can you tell me what you think about this? Tantra is all about meditation. When persons make love to each other, at the peak mind stop process to think, it's deep meditative state. That's why sex is also part of life, like breathing process. Most of the religions suppress the sex, and because of that, more and more people attract towards it. One person understands it, she will be free of it, free from lust. Sex is part of life, it's ok, but person must not stop to it. There is more to get, to reach, to attain the ultimate self. Yeah, that's beautiful. And I asked this being like, what's your question, like twice, and he's like, can you please comment? I'm like, okay, I'll just comment. So thank you for your relentlessness. Yeah, I agree absolutely with everything you said. I do think Tantra is about sex, but it depends on the meaning that you attach to the word sex. It doesn't have to be something rooted in lust. It can be rooted in unconditional love, in passion, in awareness, in presence, the art of devotional presence. When you truly are there, Tantra is just releasing the thoughts that you have in the moment, releasing anything that takes you away from the present moment. It's type of a meditative state, a meditation where you are fully present with your partner, with the being you want to explore Tantra with, and you can also do it by yourself, just being present in your day, enjoying the sip of coffee and being like, delicious. That's Tantra right there. Looking at you and doing this Q&A and appreciating you and looking you in the eyes and being like, thank you for being here. And really meaning it. Instantly, I felt like if I was making love with the universe, because Tantra is a way of being in the world. It's a way of enjoying the chocolate, a way of enjoying the dance, a way of enjoying being an inspiration. And when you find a partner, which is a reflection of you, when you're in this state of tantric understanding, you have no other choice that attract and mirror a partner that's also in that understanding. And if not, just keep being in that state of being, and you're going to mirror someone that can reflect back that unconditional love and presence. And it's about enjoying each other, not just about getting to the climax of the sexual interaction or the sexual dynamic. It's about enjoying the touch, enjoying the foreplay, having beautiful intentions while you are in it. Not just thinking about, I'm attracted to this body, because both beings know that you're not the body. Beautiful. If you're blessed with an amazing DNA and physical vessel, enjoy that as well. We're here to learn and grow from experiences and allow more light in. But you can enjoy the candy while you have candy. But from a state of being that you are doing this out of love. You love the other being. You're appreciating their presence. You're appreciating their breath, their tenderness, their attention to you right now. And even anytime you're talking to someone, and right now you're looking at me in this Q&A, I am your whole universe right now. You're my whole universe right now. And in Tantra, when you're truly present with your partner and you know that they are your whole universe in that moment, you and the person, you become one and you merge. And it's beautiful. And you don't really have to even get to intercourse. You can just enjoy the role play, enjoy the massages, enjoy looking at the eye, set an intention, because sexual dynamic creates a lot of manifestation energy. Sexual energy creates your desires, and combine it with divine cosmic energy from the crown. And in a tantric practice, it's so powerful. And if you set an intention like healing Gaia, like sending love and light to your bodies, to all the beings that are suffering, or to wake up more humanity, to bring more enlightenment. When you have these high intentions, the energy of the field vibrates higher, and then the meditative state, the tantric interaction is just so beautiful. And maybe that relates to you saying, sex is part of life, but person must not stop to it. There is more to get, to reach and attain the ultimate self. You can practice tantric sex with the intention of attaining the ultimate self, with the intention of just using the sexual interaction to allow more light in, and being like, I'm going to allow my enlightenment, and I'm going to honor you and your soul and your spirit and your thought forms and everything that you are, because I love you unconditionally. I don't possess you. I appreciate you, to be with, to enjoy the presence, and to share all that I am with all that you are, the Shakti and the Shiva, God consciousness, experiencing itself with different archetypes, the feminine and the masculine. And if it's feminine with feminine or masculine with masculine, that's beautiful too, because we all have both energies. So enjoy it. Yeah, if you ask me this, probably you're just like me. And well, you're all me, but in that separation of the 1% essence, because 99% unconditional love, 1% is your true expression of essence and who you are, it means you're also attaining your ultimate self. You're also allowing enlightenment for yourself. But through allowing enlightenment doesn't mean you cannot enjoy tantric sex. You can enjoy that and allow enlightenment. You can separate your practice of tantric sex and also separate your practice of allowing enlightenment, or you can realize that it's just one, and it's just one thing. And how you do one thing, you do everything else. And you live in a completely tantric space of being. That's why I enjoy my coffee so much. That's why I enjoy doing this work so much, because I feel I'm making love to the universe right now. Because I'm in the flow of being in my highest self. You can enjoy having a toast, talking to your partner, watching a movie, going for a walk, writing, doing what you love, having tantric sex, meditation, reading, writing, everything you do, bringing presence to it. And it will become a form of Tantra, a form of pleasure, of bliss. And you will live in this constant bliss. So it's not black or white. There's no right or wrong. But that's the inspiration and the comment I got for you. Thank you so much for your question. Wow. It's got a heart. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Nikki. What process do you use to create archetypes of self? I know the human ones of king, the warrior, the magician, lover. Do you create your own? Thanks. Well, thank you for your question, and I love that you're interested in archetypes, because right now I'm just having a lot of fun with that. I've said that when I want to be the goddess, I embody the goddess. When I want to be my inner child and play, I just become a child. When I want to be the teacher, I teach. When I want to be the Indian guru, I become the Indian guru. I don't create them, because they're all created. They all exist in creation. You can be anything. You can be Merlin, you can be Cleopatra, you can be a spirit animal, you can be anything you want. I don't have any ideas right now. Like the guru, you said you want to be the magician, the warrior, and that's so exciting. And that's so exciting not only for yourself, and in losing identification with any personality, knowing that you're an empty vessel and you can embody anything you wish in the moment. It's so freeing, it's so liberating. But also it's really exciting tying this into the question of tantric sex. When you are with a partner and you are in that state of consciousness that you know you're not your personality and you can empty yourself, how exciting and interesting it is that you can tell your partner, well, today I am the goddess and you are the warrior, and tomorrow you are the magician and I am the fairy, and the next day you're the vampire and I'm the empress, like just making things up. But how cool, not just to enjoy things like tantric sex, but also to enjoy your life more. When you realize you're not your career, and you're not anything, you're just nothingness. It's like, what do I want to be right now that brings me into the highest state of bliss and joy and ecstasy? For example, me right now today, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to decide to be Nikki, embodying higher self, having coffee, and just being and chill. Sometimes I just like to be in fully complete goddess, not chilling, but just more serious, more embodying more of a serious voice, because I enjoy it. Sometimes I'm just laughing. So to answer your question, it's not that I create my own. They are just all within consciousness. You can choose to be anything you wish to be. If the warrior and the magician and the lover, how exciting, are the archetypes you relate with, then embody them. Be in a practice it, like be with your wife, for example. I'm like, okay, today I'm going to be the lover. What does the lover do? And think about a character in a movie that you really like that is a lover, and then start doing that. Bring her the coffee, doing the massages, write poetry. And I know you're a writer, so probably you would do that. How beautiful, and embody the lover. And then the next day you're like, I'm the magician, and start acting like the magician, like anything I wish to I create into my reality, and start playing with manifestation and feel like the magician. When you learn more and more to embody these archetypes and to empty yourself, it's like you realize you're actually an actor of your own movie, and you're like, okay, this is so exciting. And then you just show yourself to your other selves, because there's nobody outside of you, and you're like, this is cool, I can play. And then you start projecting into your reality more beings that do this archetype dynamics, and then everything's just more fun. As we're here allowing enlightenment, why not making this fun? I have a friend that told me, you're the only spiritual teacher. That's how he sees me. I'm like, I'm just love. That talks about enlightenment being fun. Yes, why not? Why I just need to be in meditation the whole day and peace? Maybe I'll get there someday. I will allow the state of the Buddha, and that's it. But for me right now, it's like I'm having so much fun while not making enlightenment, and instead of inner work, make it inner play and just have fun in the process and embody archetypes and get to know yourself through other selves. That's really amazing. And I really enjoyed that question, and go for it. Embody all the archetypes you want and start playing with it and see how you feel. It's liberating. Okay. Actually, I just looked at your videos and it looks like they were all made after the coronavirus hit. Did the virus motivate you to take this action? Not really, because even before the virus, I had started my Ascend Feminine Instagram account, and I was making short videos, I was making posts, not much my face, I was doing a little bit of writing. I wasn't ready to expose myself. Working through that process of opening the throat chakra, etc. But I think so, maybe. I don't even remember, because I don't identify myself from 3 months ago. I have no idea even like what those videos say. Like if you watch that, that's such a different person. But yeah, it's like I imagine that, I even think that the quarantine brought more of what every being is. Using this time for what are the things that you really wanted to do before, and now you have all this time in your hands, why not doing them? And that's beautiful. But in my case, before doing these videos, I still work at my house. I had this business that I did in my computer with just, internet entrepreneur type of vibes. So I was used to always being in the house. I usually don't go out much. I enjoy my space, my time. So quarantine for me has been almost the same. The only thing that changed, it's not taking trips, which I already told you I'm so excited to do. But no, I think it was amazing that it correlated with the quarantine and coronavirus, because then there were more beings in the house, more beings wanting to look for content in YouTube, for example, and that was such a beautiful synchronicity for me to be able to boost my content and to reach more beings and to help more beings. And yeah, that's beautiful. And that's really interesting that you mentioned, because actually my first video, it's called Coronavirus and ET Contact, and I'm going to link it here for fun, because it's so interesting to see the contours of that being and this being now. It's like so different. Pretty sure I'm going to see these videos in like 2 years and be like, who is that girl? It always happens. And it was when I was having my first ET contacts with the Pleiadians, and it was just so interesting sharing those experiences and those videos. So yeah, that's the answer. Did it motivate you to take this action? No, it was just like a beautiful coincidence and synchronicity. Okay. How can I heal tension pains in my neck that prevent me from relaxing into a peaceful state, sending love? Usually tensions and pains are catalysts for stuck energy, stagnant energy in your body. Like wherever you have a pain, go into a meditative state and ask your body, like, where is this pain coming from? And you can imagine actually doing my Joe Dispenza meditation, blessing of the energy centers, regenerate your cells, heals the body, and you're going to be able to find where is the pain located and to transmute the energy into more light. So I was going to suggest for you to go into a meditative state and do it by yourself, but in that meditation I just do it for you and you can receive the guidance. Just know that this tension maybe is something, and let me tap into it. Something that needs to be released, something that needs to be spoken. There's a reason why it's near the throat, back in the neck, something that must be said, something that may be suppressed, like speaking your truth or setting a boundary. I don't really believe in boundaries anymore. I think like the field of consciousness just aligns everything for you when you love yourself completely. But a version of myself did have to go through the boundary process to reach this level of complete synchronicity of life. But yeah, that's what comes true for you, like some type of boundary, some type of speaking your truth, be yourself even more. But if you do this process of the Joe Dispenza meditation, then it will allow you to move that energy and also to open your mind's eye to receive more messages from your guides and know exactly what the action you need to take to release these. Because sometimes even while moving the energy, you need to take a physical action so the field of consciousness, your hologram, reacts like, hey, this being is serious. This being is actually, like, to give you an example, when I moved the energy from my throat center to speak my truth, I not only did Kundalini awakening meditations to move the energy and expand my centers, but I also made videos. I was like, okay, even if Nikki's low self was fear of doubt, fear of rejection, high self was like, no, we need to take an action, let's make a video. So do the meditation, move the stagnant energy, but when you find out the root of the problem, take the opposite action to trick your hologram of reality to know that you're serious, and then you can start projecting the reality of your preference, and then the pain will just like cease. That's your answer. When did you stop smoking weed, or did you ever smoke weed? Yes, there was a version of myself that smoked weed for 2 years straight, I think. No, it was 1 year, every day, since the being woke up and the being went back to sleep. That version of myself was working in a law firm. How funny. Even before I made my first business. But it was just a mechanism for survival. That version of myself was even before going to a 12-step group, hadn't even done inner child healing, had already had her first awakening, but was in this process of forgetting and still going into the matrix and learning more lessons. So the way my coping mechanism to deal with those like suppressed emotions was smoking weed all the time until like I couldn't focus, just remembering. And that version of myself was studying law, so like I couldn't focus on the exams or do anything, and I was like, okay, I need to quit this. And when I quitted it, then I was like, okay, then food. Another heart, thank you. And then I was like binge eating, and then it wasn't binge eating, but it was like being addicted to the boyfriend at the moment. So it's like these drugs, it can be a codependent relationship, it can be food, it can be weed, it can be alcohol, are just, and I talk about that in my book on my website if you want to read it. But these are all coping mechanisms. The beauty of removing the weed or the alcohol or the codependent relationship is that you sit with yourself and you're like, okay, what's the emotion I'm trying to escape from? And you bring it to surface, and then you can bring awareness into, I'm not this emotion, and then releasing it, going through the process of healing, going through the process of forgiveness, and then you allow more light into your vessel. So it's just a lesson, if you are in that process, or any other beings in that process, for you to release that coping mechanism and be courageous and love yourself enough to look at the wound and look at what am I escaping? When you feel that urge to like smoke the weed or call the codependent relationship being, or go and binge eat, for example, be like, okay, I'm gonna hold myself. What am I trying to suppress here? Why I don't want to look at? What is the pain I want to run away from? And then bring it to surface. So I think for this question. Okay, what are your favorite hobbies? I don't have any hobbies anymore. as I said in the first question, I just live in a constant state of flow. My only hobby is being and allowing more love and allowing more light. Whatever inspiration comes through in the moment, if I feel like recording a Q&A, I just do. If I feel like dancing, I just dance. If I want to call a friend, I call a friend. If I want to do a session, then I start looking at my emails and I reply some emails and I book some sessions. That's why I don't have a calendar, because I love to live in the 0 points, in the state of not being attached to anything, just flowing, just being. Well, if I schedule sessions, I do know that I have sessions like 2 weeks from now, but it's an inspiration from spirit telling me like, set up an appointment with this being. This being right now meets you in his reality as a reflection of himself or herself, because I am you. But yeah, it's as if you don't have hobbies anymore. I used to. But the more you allow yourself to live in this constant state of flow, then suddenly you're gonna realize that your life is the play, your life is the fun, and you don't need to separate work from play or work from hobbies. Your life is your hobby. Your hobby is of your being yourself, of allowing more of yourself, of expressing yourself. And you're just bliss, you're just love, you're just light. Okay. This is not a question. Thank you for being you. Oh, thank you for being you. I enjoy your gratitude so much. It means the world to me and my heart, and it just fills me with joy to know that these videos and information and downloads are helping you. So when you leave me a comment, when you like the video, when you send me an email with gratitude or the breakthroughs you had, it makes me so happy, because my highest joy is knowing that what I'm allowing to come through me is serving you and helping you ascend, helping you feel more joy, more bliss, realize yourself. Everything that I'm experiencing, the bliss, the joy, the deliciousness of experiencing life, I want that for you as well. I'm only advertising freedom of being. So thank you so much for receiving me and for all your gratitude. Okay. Thank you so much for your love and light. As you live your higher calling, you inspire others to do the same. Thank you so much. And I added this because if you are thinking about, and thank you so much again, it's so beautiful. If you're thinking about following your higher calling or following your dharma, and you have this fear of rejection or this fear of like what would people think, do it anyway, because what's the beauty of, and there's no others, there's no one outside of you, so like you're just playing a game with yourself, telling yourself like what will other people think when there's nobody else. So it's just go allowing that lesson to come through and just releasing it. But seeing these messages like, for following your calling, you inspire me to follow your calling. Even if you impact one being, that being is your whole universe in that moment. Do it anyway. It doesn't matter who sees you, how many views you have, just be yourself and be certain that you're going to attract your soul family. You're going to attract the aspects of your soul that need you to show up for yourself, so they can see themselves in you. So if you're in the fence of following your dharma, following your calling, putting yourself out there and making your first video, this is the synchronicity and message for you. Just do it. Because you're going to be so happy afterwards, and you're going to be able to break through that barrier of self-imposed illusion. Everybody has a unique essence that came here to express. And I believe in yours. Okay. How long have you been in your path of spirituality? Was it a sudden awakening? In the linear, it's been 8 years, but millions of years in the non-linear, many lifetimes in other planets, many lifetimes as energy form, many lifetimes as being just in the veil of nothingness and being in complete enlightenment and light. But if I decided to come back and went through some paths and lessons, I'm going to link my timeless life story video if you want to see that, where I explain more about linear terms like which were the events that led me through here. That's all like the year's journey, right? Like from the breakdown and I don't want to be living on earth to like empowerment and healing, and then like doing what I'm doing now. So it's kind of like interesting to watch. But yes, 8 years in the linear and sudden awakening. I do know that, remember that it was from pain. Like the awakening came from extreme suffering, extreme like, this is not how it's supposed to be, there should be something more. And I do see it as breaking my heart wide open for more light to come in. And I just start asking like, I need some guidance, like please help. And then some angels, ETs, higher beings appear in my room, and time stopped, and I just started channeling information and doing writing. And then what I was like, it stopped for 2 years, and It's all in the video. I don't want to get too much into detail, but yeah, I think I just got tired of being tired and suffering and pain, and I was like, there must be another way, and that's how it started. Some things that need catalysts at suffering to really wake up and start your spiritual path. You can just be curious about it, and that's beautiful, but that's the path I chose in this incarnation. And going through the catalysts and the dysfunctionalities of family and abandonment and blah blah blah, and all those things that version of myself went through to help beings that also went through the same path. That's my unique blueprint, my unique essence. Thank you for your question, and go check out the video. You would enjoy it. Okay. What unites humanity? Love. Unconditional love and light. That's all that there is. Love, light, awareness. Not looking at differences. That's why, again, I say 99% unconditional love and light. Everybody's just an expression of God consciousness, of the one. And when you step from that point of consciousness and that point of realization, there's no separation. There's no way you wouldn't be understanding, caring, forgiving, compassionate when you know that other being is you. It's another aspect of you, another version of you. You want to be of service, you want to help them because you see yourself in them. So if I have to sum up that in one word, it would be love. And in 2 words, unconditional love. And in 3 words, unconditional love, light. And in 4, unconditional love, light, awareness. That's what unites humanity. Okay. And not just humanity, a lot of planets and other civilizations out there, and all the cosmos and all the universes and all the galaxies, because just humanity and planet Earth, it's like this tiny little thing in comparison with all the beings that are out there in space. Okay. Well, this is the last one. Amazing. This is a short Q&A. My question is, for a few years, I was friends with a group of people who were shallow, and unfortunately, I became shallow as well. I would judge girls by the way they look instead of what was on the inside. I wasn't happy to be like this, so I got rid of all my shallow friends. Amazing. It's just a projection of yourself. The friends that are in your reality are just projections of your current state of consciousness. So if you're shallow, then you're going to attract beings that are shallow because they're a catalyst for you to wake up that you should release that being shallow. And whatever bothers you in those projections and those beings and that friends group, it's something that you need to look at to transcend. Okay? Let's see. However, I find I am still not able to completely change. There is still a part of me that is shallow and beautiful because you brought awareness to it, so you identified it. What can I tell myself to stop being shallow? That's the first step. You're asking the question. I've been writing down all the negatives that come from being like this to motivate myself to change. That's beautiful. I'm so proud of you. Okay. Can you tell me any reasons for not to be shallow? From a spiritual perspective, what are the negatives to being shallow and judging others and their looks? Thank you for your time, Nikki. Thank you for your question. The only, what you judge in others, it's something that is unhealed within yourself. You're not really shallow. You're just unconditional love and light. You're perfect. You're purity. You're a divine being. It's just a distortion. It's just an illusion of separation that you have, that those beings are not you. There's nobody outside of you. I am you. You are me. So if you judge another version of yourself, you're judging yourself. So I wouldn't suggest for you to keep writing the negatives, because it's just like, it's beautiful that you did and you brought awareness to it, but just to step in the realization of whatever I judge in others, it's something unhealed in myself. When I was the version of myself that was obsessed with the body and was helping beings lose weight, I couldn't see somebody that in the perception of that distortion didn't take care of their bodies, because I was like, how couldn't you? But it's because I was talking to myself. I was so hard on myself and in my body that I was like, how couldn't you do this? So see what's the golden nugget in what I'm saying? If you judge somebody for their looks, it means that you don't feel completely comfortable in your own body and in your looks. So love yourself. Ultimately, love yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and be so much energy, so much itching. I'm just like transmuting. Look at yourself at the mirror and be like, you're so beautiful. I love you so much. You're worthy. You're capable. And I love others because I love myself so much. So for you, I would just suggest to love yourself. Realize that you're God consciousness. Realize that you're perfect and beautiful just as you are. You don't need to do anything to be lovable, because you are lovable. You are love itself. You're the whole universe experiencing itself. Now when you come from this point of delicious realization and you practice this more and more, through listening to this, through self-love meditations, to using the practices that I gave at the beginning of I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, I am not that, and then being then what, and then what. If I stop judging others, what would I feel? Maybe I lose my sense of self because I identify with being someone that's shallow, and then what? Then I don't know what I'm gonna be, and then what? Then I'm scared to realize that I'm God consciousness, and then what? Maybe I realize I'm God consciousness and I finally take over my power of creation, and then what? Then I'll be powerful to know that I create my reality and that there's nobody outside of me, and that the only thing I judge within others is something I haven't healed in myself, and then what? Then I'm free. See the process of then what, how beautiful it is? You can take it into an upward spiral or take it into a downward spiral and identify the fear of why you want to release being shallow as an example, and then realize that there's no real consequence. You're just going through the lesson that you place there for yourself for your own ascension and allowance of growth into a more aligned being with higher self. So I acknowledge what you're doing, and I think it's beautiful, and it makes me so happy that you're humble and courageous enough to ask this question, because you identify it and you want to release it. And I'm telling you, it's already released. It's done. It's my gift for you. You're not shallow. You're unconditional love and light. And you love everybody else because you see the unconditional love and light in them. And every time you go outside again into the physical world and you see another being and you see the distortion of the judgment, you're gonna see the distortion, but like this, coming in through one ear and passing in through the screens of your glasses and going out here, if you have glasses, if not of your eyes, and you're gonna be like, wow, interesting distortion, but I know it's not truth, because truth feels good, truth brings me to alignment, and I am not that, and that being is not that. I am not that, I am not this, I am not that, I am not shallow, I am not judgmental, I am unconditional love, light, awareness, I am God consciousness, and I recognize the creator in everybody else as there are aspects of me. And if you need to repeat this and play it again and turn it into an affirmation, that would probably be beneficial for you. That's your answer, dear one. Well, thank you so much for your questions. Thank you so much for being here. This was super fun, entertaining. I'm my highest joy when I'm able to do this for you. So grateful for your questions, grateful for your desire for allowing more enlightenment, for allowing self-realization, for allowing ascension for yourself and for Gaia and for all the beings. And just as you love yourself, you start radiating that love energy, and it touches everybody around you. It's like a ripple effect. So it makes me so happy. More beings stepping into their power, more beings realizing their it, more beings releasing distortions, more beings interested in bringing the light and uniting with me in this mission of bringing enlightenment into earth, heaven into earth. I love you so much. If you would like to enjoy more meditation practices that are going to enjoy these realizations, allow yourself to enjoy these realizations even more and to penetrate this God consciousness and realization of nothingness and the wholeness and empowerment of your beingness, then go check out the link in the description, voidvibrations.com, where you're going to be able to find a lot of more material and content like this. It's a project I'm just starting with a friend, and I'm so excited for it, and I just have beautiful visions of how much brightness and light it's gonna bring to so many beings and to planet Earth, to allow this vision of heaven and earth. Heaven is a state of consciousness, and it's my desire for you to desire it, for you to allow this for you to feel the freedom of just being. It's magnificent. You are magnificent. Okay. So that's that, and I'll see you in my next Q&A, meditation, or daily love inspiration. Sending you all my light, all my love. Namaste, my friends.